Welcome to Nasdaq TradeTalks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me is Bill Powers, Managing Partner at the Strand Partners, formerly of PIMCO, to discuss wider adoption of digital assets and synergies with fixed income. Bill, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to TradeTalks.
Thank you.
And Bill, that's an interesting move, going from fixed income to digital assets. What was the genesis behind that?
Well, there was actually a little space in between leaving PIMCO in 2010. Obviously, my start after Stanford Business School was Salomon Brothers. I was in the capital markets and fixed income until leaving PIMCO in 2010. At that point, I moved into venture capital, private equity, real estate, and other forms of non-traditional investing. So if you think about my career, it's really a series of entrepreneurial moves. I was in the mortgage-backed securities market at its inception in the 1980s and helped move PIMCO from 29 billion to over 1.5 trillion during the almost 20 years I was there. So I had a love always for new concepts, new businesses, and the great teams that put these together.
And are there any synergies with fixed income and digital assets, or what have you learned with fixed income that can be applied to your new role within digital assets?
Well, there are many actually. Within Arca, we have a team that are very traditional in how they approach investments. So enormous transference between what they did as high yield and derivative investors within fixed income in their former lives and what they're doing now at Arca. So many of these digital assets are simply tokenized companies, real companies with real customers, starting as smaller communities, building into bigger revenue-based companies where the token holders, unlike normal stocks in private equity, where the users of the tokens benefit from usage.
And Bill, what's your outlook for digital assets moving forward? I mean, we hear about cryptocurrency all the time and it's volatile and so forth, but it's more than what you hear about Bitcoin and some of the other related altcoins.
Sure. So going back in time, I was first made aware of email when I was a trainee at IBM in 1980. I didn't start using it in the office until 1995, 15 years. Obviously, the internet, Al Gore claimed that he invented it, but e-commerce didn't start until a decade later. The blockchain has been here for almost 15 years, but now we're just beginning to see the early innings of adoption where companies that can gain the benefit of disruption, transformation, and performance enhancements by adopting the blockchain are driving tremendous economic benefits from these uses. So I would say the blockchain will present a new menu of outstanding investment opportunities for the next 20 years, much like venture capital has for the last 10 or 12 years. So we are at a very early stage of adoption and having companies change their business practices to take advantage of what a smart ledger can do for their businesses.
That's a great correlation that you make. Hearing about the internet in 80 and then finally applying it in 1995, that really does help to put it into perspective. So Bill, to wrap up here, Arca, of course, one of the players within the digital asset space early, relatively speaking. What's your outlook there for them?
I think much like when I joined PIMCO in 1991, there are many different opportunities to expand our products. In fact, we have an income product that we're just launching that takes advantage of a number of inefficiencies in the newly formed futures market, staking markets for those in tokens, and other opportunities to raise income. This income fund will conservatively produce 15% or higher returns per annum. Comparing that to bond markets today, where 3 or 5% is considered a very high level of income, has tremendous prospects. Our flagship fund is continuing to offer great performance. We had our lowest performing month in April of 2021 at up 20%. So we're up 150% already year to date. We have, for people who want to be a passive Bitcoin investor, a very low cost, highly secure, easy to use passive Bitcoin fund. And we're opening a new venture fund as well. So the opportunities for new funds is as robust for Arca as it was for PIMCO when I first joined.
All right, Bill, appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks, and thanks for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.